know, got the girlies working down to the Married to Medicine down in Key West, Florida. Question: was King looking for a moment to solidify his spot for next season? Because he really did. Him and Dr. G got into a pissing contest. And in the words of Jocelyn Hernandez, Apollo and Bad Built Butch Body, hoes, why is y'all here? And y'all know y'all ain't married to medicine, but we know why. We know why, and we're going to get into that next.
I feel sexy as fuck. I see what y'all like.
Girl, can we gossip? Gossip, gossip, girl, can we gossip? Gossip, gossip, girl, can we gossip? Gossip, gossip, girl.
Do you want me to bring the receipts? Do I need to bring the receipts, baby girl? Because I got receipts. What is she talking about?
It's T Petty Bunch. I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of Girl, Girl, Girl. Can we gossip? Yes, with the petty one. First, I want to thank my subscribers. Y'all are flattering the hell out of me. Thank you for your support. All 231 of you. I cannot explain how good it feels to have you guys tuned right on in to all the pettiness happening over here in the playroom. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I know that I'm a day late and a dollar short. I'm so behind on this review and my other reviews. Life be lifing, y'all. Life truly be lifing, but I'm sure y'all understand that. So, without further ado, let's get into the shits and shenanigans. Married to Medicine, episode 11. We are picking up after last night's WWE couples battle royale. We had Sweet Tea and Dr. G literally fighting for their lives because a drunken Quad, listen, Quad was 3 sheets to the wind drunk, okay? And she was swinging. Heavenly was sending her, listen, Heavenly was sending her the ball. She was ooping it like it was a whole fucked up situation, and we are about to get into it because now all the couples are recapping what happened last night. First, we're going to get into Quad and G in their room. The couples, like I said, they are catching up about last night's shits and shenanigans. So we start this episode off with Quad, who first of all looks like she has not had a lick of rest. She was just up, and we know why, for a myriad of reasons, baby. Her ego has been stroked, but you know Quad got to play a little modest, and so she's talking to her man King, and she's just questions like, what happened? Like, what happened last night, Quad? Now, you know what happened last night, but what happened? It seems like Dr. G done lost his mind. And King is like, I mean, can you blame him? Of course he went ape shit. We talked about me blowing your back out 15 times a week because that's how much we say we getting it in. So, of course, one would expect him to be going ape shit over the fact that his ex-wife got a new man and they getting it in 15 times a week at that. So Quad agrees, and she's like, I mean, you're right. This must be a lot for Dr. G. But question, why can't I celebrate my happiness? Why can't I be excited about the fact that I have a new, healthy, balanced relationship with a fine, strong, young black man who is knocking me off real good, making me feel good all over. Why can't I be excited about that? And why can't the friend group be excited for me? How come they cannot extend the grace that they gave to Gregory and Sweet Tea when he brought her in, parading her around in front of the group, and they welcomed him with open arms. They welcomed Sweet Tea at the time with open arms, giving them advice. They wanted to hear the love story. They were so welcoming. Why was that grace? Is that grace not extended to me now that I'm happy and I'm functioning in a happy, healthy relationship? And so Quad is like, hell, this is my friend group. Why couldn't they be considerate to me? And I have to stop you for a minute, Quad. This group right here, this is not your friend group. Did you not forget that this is Dr. G's group of colleagues that he knows through the medical community? Did you also not forget that this baby was Mariah's friend group? You remember your good girlfriend, Mariah, who picked you up by your bootstraps, dusted you off, spit and shined you up a little bit to take away some of your ghetto-ness, and she presented you in front of Dr. G, who needed a wife or a companion, and she put you on with Dr. G. But because of who you are and who he is, y'all was like oil and water, never mixed. Y'all got into a a smackdown that led to both of you all being arrested a couple weeks, maybe a couple days before you guys got married. Y'all both had mug shots and y'all still decided to jump the broom and get married. This is their group. You are a friend by proxy. The only reason these ladies welcomed you in was on the strength of Greg and the extra strength of Mariah, who has been married to Dr. Aiden for X amount of years. Now, baby, this ain't really your friend group. They are friendly with you because Dr. G ushered you in, and then Mariah backed it up and brought you to the table. These ladies really are not your friend. They are friendly, but let's not forget, after Mariah presented you to this group, you got in with these ladies and you conspired against your ex best friend and you got her kicked off of her show. This was her show. This is her show. This is her brainchild that you are feeling like you are entitled to. And you're not, and you are facing your karma. That's why they kicked you off of the girl trip last season. They are not your friends. And you have to take part and own some of the shit that you pulled also. You remember when you had your birthday party and when you were on Sister Circle and you invited your Sister Circle friends in and you loved on them and you said you had never been around a group of women that supported you and that loved on you like those ladies did. And your Married to Medicine friend girls were standing right there while you looked like you was shitting on them and you was lifting up your Sister Circle friends. So you have to understand that why Simone is feeling the way that she feels, although Simone is full of shit too, and why Toya was feeling the way that she felt, and Tess and Pitbull and Dr. Jack. You got to understand these ladies are not your friends. You said what you said and you stood 10 toes down with your Sister Circle friend group. So you cannot expect that these ladies are really going to be loyal to you and want to be around you. So that being said, it's like, Quad, I ain't gonna hold you. If you have a right to feel how you feel, but baby, you wrong. Okay, so the next scene we cut to Dr. G and Sweet Tea. And is it me? But Dr. G is giving me Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde vibes. Like last night, let's not pretend that you did not show your whole ass. You dogged your wife out. You treated her like she was a child. You yelled at her because she was responding in kind to your ex-wife, who again was shitting on y'all marriage and being sarcastic and condescending, saying shit like these two are perfect for each other. They need to be married. She good for him. And we know that your fake endorsement is what set Dr. G off. But Dr. G, by you going off, and T was trying to defend y'all love, y'all marriage, but you going off on her, telling her not to respond and belittling her and yelling at her, treating her like a child. And then when she's trying to explain her position, because it's like, hey, I'm responding in kind to the bullshit that your ex-wife was dishing out to me. And you telling me you don't want me to respond. And then you yelling at me, you storm out of the room like a little ass girl. And then I'm trying to check on you to get a, a temperature check to see if we can hash this shit out. You send me the voicemail, and then the next morning you want to play cutesy in front of the cameras. Oh, how are you feeling? That's a loaded ass question. What do you mean, how are you feeling? That's some stupid ass shit. So, of course, Sweet Tea goes on to say, we should be in the process of making a baby, but our attention is focused on this unnecessary bullshit. And my thing is, Sweet Tea, we know, baby, that you want a baby. We know, we feel it, we see it, we get it. But did you ever think you stressing about putting a full court press on your husband about wanting this baby? And we understand why you put the full court press on him, because he has given you a 2-year timeline. If you don't get pregnant in 2 years, then I don't think I want a baby, which I think is kind of crazy, because he always put the full court press on Quad, and she wasn't trying to have his baby. Now Sweet Tea is trying to have his baby. So word of advice: less stress, more sex. Stop treating this like a job. Relax. Let your body do what it's going to do. Screw your husband. Have a good time. Having baby making time should be fun. It should be freaky. It should be frisky. It should be fantastic. It should be fabulous. It should be all those things. But you are under extra stress, and it's crazy. It's a lot of drama unnecessarily, and it doesn't have to be. Relax. Screw your husband. So Dr. G goes on to explain why he was pissed off about last night. And again, like I said, it's because Quad was being condescending, and she was saying he was mad because she was like, I left him. I left this marriage. And so again, her fake endorsement was making him feel a certain kind of way. And Sweet Tea brings up the fact that she's like, I think Quad has some weird behaviors. I really don't know her. And Dr. G is like, right, you do not know her. Last night she was drunk 3 sheets to the wind. And you gotta love production. Production and their messy asses shows the clip of Quad laughing her ass off as she is continuing to get her sip on. Okay, laughing her ass off. So Dr. G says he does not like to get upset, and he apologizes for yelling, but he does not apologize for how she was making him feel. Now we cut back to Quad and King. And so again, Quad's ego is lightweight being stroked. Y'all know Quad is an egomaniac. She's an egomaniac. It's about Quad, Miss Quad, Miss Quad, Miss Quad. Miss Quad has put herself up on this pedestal. So y'all got to understand, Miss Quad got a big ego. Yes, okay. So she goes on to tell her new man, which I'm like, I don't understand why you're saying this shit to your new man about your old man. But we're going to see how this will end up playing out in her and King's relationship. So she goes on like, I mean, I was sensing some jealousy from Dr. G too. And it doesn't seem like he's over me. And it feels like his new wife is a placeholder. And a placeholder, a seat filler. And so they go back to Toya, who was, Toya was basically saying what everybody was feeling. That shit was mad uncomfortable. It's like you got Quad and King sitting right here, and then right behind Quad in her peripheral is Dr. G and Sweet Tea, and she's kissing her new man, which I ain't mad at. She's kissing him. They're loving on each other. It was mad awkward. So again, you just don't say this shit in front of your new man. You should have waited till the trip was over. You get on the phone, you call your girls Rashida, Yandy, and you talk about that shit. Girl, Greg acted a whole ass, him and Sweet Tea, and you give them the good, dirty details. Not in front of your new man, because he's processing a lot of things. He understands that you're going through a lot of trauma, but it's like now you're taking him along for the ride, and now he feels like he has to defend your honor, which we see later on in the episode that he beating on his chest, and him and G are having a whole pissing contest over you. Okay, and so Quad goes on to say she doesn't like how Dr. G was yelling at Sweet Tea, and she's like, I don't think he's changed at all. Quad, we know that man ain't changed. He's got a Napoleon complex. Okay, and then you come in with this Hercules looking man, and he looking like a little simpleton Napoleon. He's angry. He's upset because you have moved on. And you moved on with somebody who looks 10 times better than him. So, of course, he pissed. Okay, back to Dr. G and Sweet Tea. Again, he apologizes. Baby, I was trying to protect you because I didn't want you and her getting into it. And then he feeds her with this bullshit ass line about the age gap situation. You know, I thought you was not, you know, that you would respond like an older, much more mature woman. And I had to think for a minute. Vintage, older, mature women would pop off too if someone was coming for them, sir. I'm sorry. I just don't feel that a vintage woman would sit there and let any woman come for her man, her relationship. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion, but go off, Dr. G, go off. And so Sweet Tea is like, you got that right. If somebody knucking, I'm bucking. You're not just gonna feed me some shit and I'm just gonna eat it. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. And it seems to me that Dr. G has this young woman and it's like he's trying to mold her into what he wants her to be. Just my opinion. Next, we cut to Toya and Dr. Eugene. They call Steve and Dr. Mimi out, and they're like, hey, we want to get to know you guys better. Let's go get some drinks off the resort. We don't want anything to do with this resort. The block was hot last night. Let's go away. Let's get around a new environment. So they hop into a Sprinter van and then they just take a quick ride. We learn that Dr. Mimi is from Alabama. We learn that Steve is from the 216, the land. He is a native. He grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out because that's my hometown. So we find out that Steve has two siblings, grew up being raised by his single mom who worked a lot of jobs to put food on the table and to take care of her kids. He didn't know his dad. I believe he went to East Tech and he went on to play. He played sports as his outlet because he knew that would be one of the ways to get him out of inner city Cleveland. So he ended up playing wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns and he got the hell out of Cleveland. He met the love of his life, and here we are on the Married to Medicine. So they decide to go to a restaurant, have a few drinks, and so they are all seated at the table having their drinks, and Steve and Mimi look at Toya like, hey, you know you're responsible for adding adding a match and starting that shit that popped off last night. And Toya's like, really? You guys think so? And I'm gonna have to stop Steve and Mimi. Clearly, they do not know Heavenly. They do not know her antics. For me, I don't always agree with a lot of things that Toya does, but in this instance, I am Team Toya. Toya, to me, is standing up and she is saying all of the things that everybody will not say. Toya was in the right by saying shit got awkward last night. She could feel the tension. You could see it on all the couples' faces. While Quad was having her, messy monologue about how she's found the love of her life and ain't no man ever treat me the way that this man is treating me and loving on me and da 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 da. All while she is, Dr. G and Sweet Tea are catching strays. So Toya's like, yo, I'm happy for y'all, but now is not the time or the place to be doing this because you putting people in their feelings. And I feel what Toya was saying. So I don't know where Mimi and Steve got that from. Like I said, they clearly don't know Heavenly. They don't know her antics. And stick around long enough. FAFO, y'all gonna find out. So next we cut to the messy Musketeers. We got the pit bull getting her glam on, and we got her two little minions come in. Daddy. Y'all know how the pit bull be with that laugh. And so they're in the room talking. They are comparing notes. And so Simone, which is minion number 2, says a healing needs to be had between Quad and Dr. G. And I'm like, a healing? No, ma'am. No. We watched how Bravo tried to put Quad and Dr. G back together, and we learned more about her claims of domestic violence, the domestic disputes that they have been having. And he was saying one thing, she's saying another thing. I'm going to say a healing needs to happen individually, but these two, in my opinion, they don't need to be around each other, period. But it is what it is. So, Heavenly's sadistic ass. I thought this shit was funny. See, that's why I cannot fool with Heavenly. She is classless, she is egregious, she is despicable, she is diabolical, she is disgusting. And she gets this sick, twisted joy in watching others fall apart and watching them have to dig out of chaotic moments. She likes pressing people's back up against the wall and seeing how they are going to survive these crazy ass situations. And I think it is crazy to me. And what's even funnier, not haha funny, is that while she thinking everybody else's shit is funny and she's pulling Apollo and bad built butch body into Phaedra's situation, would it be funny if we talked about those cans of Infamil in your cabinets, or the fact that the Atlanta streets is talking that daddy got mixed twins walking around the city and they have your last name? Would that be funny? Would that be funny if somebody, y'all decide to take a couple trip next year and they bring daddy Damon's alleged baby mama on a trip to torment you? Would that be funny? Would that be funny? I just want to know. That's a rhetorical question. Would that be funny? So then Heavenly goes even further and it's like, I got a secret. Apollo is coming. And so in her confessional, she is saying she is happy. Now, this is some sadistic, twisted shit. Okay. She says, I am happy that Apollo is coming because maybe he can show Dr. G how to coexist with his ex-wife and her new man. What? I, what? We have never seen Dr. G and Quad. We've never seen these two be peaceful or coexist happily. We never seen Phaedra or Apollo coexist happily. Y'all remember Phaedra in the damn scene where Apollo was stalking her and she had to call the police right before he went to jail when they were in the garage? Like, come on. And we saw Greg and Quad always arguing about their sexless marriage, him wanting babies and her like, I don't want to give them to you. I don't want to give them to you. And now we see why she did not want to give him no babies. So, no, this is crazy. So, Heavenly continues with her messiness. And she's like, oh, I call Phaedra too. And she knows about it. And if something happens, we can all just look at each other and say, well, Phaedra knows. Phaedra knows, right? So, I just think it's crazy. What's even crazier and sick and twisted is that I feel like Jackie and Simone are low-key happy and relieved that Heavenly is causing this chaos and drama for Quad and for Phaedra. It's a welcome distraction for them because now they don't have to focus on their marriages. Jackie, you were the focus last year when everybody decided to take a couple trip to Hilton Head, where Curtis was dropping it and popping it with his mistress. So we don't have to talk about that, and we don't have to talk about the fact that every time there is an event going on and you're without Curtis and everybody asks, oh, where's Curtis? Oh, he's in the DR. He's in the DR. Really? Really? We want to know more about what's happening in the DR with Curtis. What is he doing there? Is he building homes or is he building homes? Like, let us know. We want to know. We want to know. And Simone, we don't want to talk about the fact that you are barely standing Cecil. And we don't want to continue focusing on the fact that your marriage almost blew up because he was spending a lot of time with his female best friend, Tammy. We don't want to continue to talk about that, do we? So, yeah, it's a welcome distraction. They don't want to talk about their screwed up marriages. So they're happy that they are not the center of attention. Okay, so again, Heavenly put it out there. Phaedra knows Apollo's coming, and it is what it is. So the sandbar, most definitely, as we see, was the problem of all problems. it was crazy. And for Jackie to say she feels that Phaedra wants Apollo to be there so she can make him jealous, and it's cool sticking it to your ex. And I think it's crazy that she's feeling like this is part of Phaedra's plan. How is this part of Phaedra's plan when Heavenly was the one that called Apollo to come on this couple's trip? Again with the cockamamie excuses, again with them not holding Heavenly's feet to the fire and telling her that everything that she's doing is up. And she is not a relationship, marriage type therapist, type counselor, type nothing. Heavenly, you can't even tell me what the weather is going to be. I would not take your advice, not on my teeth, not on anything. Okay, it's crazy. So it's just wild. Like it's crazy. So anyway, all the couples have met up. They are on the boat. They are getting ready to be whisked away to the beautiful sandbar that is a secluded, beautiful, opulent island with crystal clear water. It's, it looks like it would be a nice, sexy, fun, drunken time, and it becomes everything but that. So couples are on a boat. Heavenly's ass is on the phone, and again, well, Phaedra knows I called her. She knows. And Phaedra in her confessional is saying this situation is weird as hell. Why is it that my frenemy is so obsessed with bringing my ex-husband on this trip? Again, Phaedra, she is your frenemy. Remember, when you came into this friend group, you have been very quiet. The ladies don't know anything about you. So the way that Heavenly feels that they're going to learn about you is to embarrass you and bring your past into your present so they can confront it and see how you're going to act and how you're going to fall apart, because they want to see you crumble. They want to see you fall apart. They want to see who the real Phaedra is, because all you have presented is just a, like when you first get into a relationship with someone and you present your representative has been showing up and they're tired of seeing your representative. They want to see some serious drama. They want to see some shit. They've been through shit, except for Heavenly. Heavenly has not shared anything about her marriage. She wants everybody to believe that it's perfect, that she and Damon are the epitome of what black love, a black power couple looks like. And I feel like there are some skeletons in that closet that need to come out, but I digress. So again, Phaedra, you should already know it is on, and you are the flavor of the month. Okay. So again, goes back to Toya also when they were on that god awful glamping trip, and she was like, Phaedra, you're a part of our sister circle. We don't know anything about you. Tell us about yourself. And Phaedra pretty much told Toya, mind your business. I only talk to the people that I feel like I have an interest in. And Toya was not one of those people. Because y'all remember how Toya tried to also poke and prod. Oh, I seen Apollo, and asking how her kids reacted to their divorce. And Phaedra like, they can read, just real cool and calm. And and then with Toya asking her questions, what sets you off? What makes you mad? So here, Heavenly is like, well, we're gonna see if this makes her mad by having Apollo show up. And then Bad Built Butch Body joins in the situation and the shenanigans. So it's crazy. So anyway, Heavenly is thirsty on the phone. Apollo, where you at? Where you at? We about to take off. We can't leave without you. And Apollo goes, we're on the way. So down the dock comes walking Apollo and Bad Built Butch Body, his mistress turned new wife. Now this is the same chick that he was cheating on Phaedra with while they were married, when she was pregnant with their second son. Okay, and then here you got quiet. Hey, Apollo, hey. So she is totally fangirling over Apollo. And Phaedra's like, do we have smoke? Phaedra, y'all got smoke, baby. Quad has said that you have led the charge to try to get her fired off from, last season when she brought you on. She said that she validated for you. She put on a cape and said Phaedra Parks will be a wonderful addition to this show. And then you started leading the charge to get her booted off of her show, which is Mariah's show, which is crazy to me. So that's why she got that smoking pressure with you. And my thing is, it's like, Quad, you got your own shit to be dealing with, with King, Sweet Tea, Dr. G. What Apollo and Phaedra and Shriek, Shrek, Shek, and Bad Bill body got going on, you got too much shit to be worried about. So anyway, they come onto the boat. They're welcomed by everybody. Heavenly basically pushing everybody out the way to hug her. Hey girl. So while they're on the boat, a drinking game happens. And so what happens is we have Apollo, Phaedra, Quad, Heavenly. They are sitting on one side of the boat where Apollo is spilling all the tea because they're like, how do you know Shrek? How do you know Sheik? Whatever. And so Shireen is like, well, we cool. He family. We hang out. Apollo is telling them, hey, me and Shek are friends. We hang out. And so he did tell me that he was going on a speed dating situation and that he matched up with Phaedra, but I didn't know that they had matched up like this. And so on the other side of the boat, you have Phaedra, you got Shrek, Sheik, you got Sweet Tea, and Tess and all them on that side of the boat. So they are talking. And so Shrek is Shek is like, hey, why you didn't tell me Apollo was coming? I feel like, you put me out here. I feel a little naked because you leaving me out here. I didn't know that he was coming. And so Sweet Tea is like, oh no, it's not like that. Do are y'all cool, whatever? And they're saying it is what it is. So Tess also pulls Shireen over and asks her, do you know Phaedra? And Shireen is like, yeah, I know her. And Phaedra goes on to say that this the mistress that was cheating with my husband. And then production cuts to a 2016 clip of Real Housewives of Atlanta when Shireen was saying, I mean, wifey was never around, so I was there and, I had to do what I had to do. So basically, you're looking like you want to be in Phaedra's skin because it's like you got her sloppy seconds with her husband and now you hugging on Sheik Shek, who you said is a part of y'all family and he's always around. And I don't know, they give me that they've hunched vibes because she's hugging too much on him and she's too invested in what Shek has going on. When your husband is sitting over here, and Apollo seems to be very much invested in what Phaedra has going on, because why would you come on a trip that your ex-wife is on? That's really weird to me. Again, Apollo and Shireen are, in my opinion, they are auditioning because they want to be part of this show. But I don't know what they will offer because neither one of them is married to medicine. And it's crazy. My question to you is, why? What is your purpose of doing something like this? You have the unmitigated gall. You have no empathy or sympathy. You bring this woman's ex-husband here because you want to add more chaos. Now, you have already blown up Quad spot with your couples questioning situation, and now you're adding more fuel to the fire. You want to blow up Phaedra's spot. And Heavenly is just now at the sandbar. So the ladies are on their floaties. They are lazily just drifting in the water, having a good time. The guys are on their side. The testosterone is flowing. Dr. Eugene wants to just have cocktails, sit under the umbrella, kick it, have some, engaging conversations. But Steve and King and Apollo, because they are the most fit of the guys, they're like, hey, we should do some things. Let's play some football. Let's do this. Let's do that. And so Steve is wanting to get to know like everybody in the group. So he looks to Apollo and it's like, hey, how do you know everybody? And Apollo asks, oh, I know everybody here except for Phaedra. Heavenly invited me, da 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 da. So it's like he's trying to act like Phaedra is your claim to fame, boo boo kitty. Why are you trying to act like she's... Anyway, I digress. So while they're talking about what, they want to do, Dr. G, while the testosterone is flowing, Dr. G decides let's do push-ups. I can do 25 push-ups. And my thing is, again, Dr. G wants to have a pissing contest with King. He wants King to see, okay, yes, you're young and strapping, but I still got it too. So he gets up, he does 25 push-ups, and he's just like, Letitia, 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 which is very weird, which is very awkward, and it's like, damn, you trying to have this pissing contest, but you look stupid as hell. Just sit your $5 ass down before somebody make change. And so again, Dr. Eugene is like, ugh, like I just want to have a cigar. I just want us to all get to know each other better. So anyway, After the crazy push-up situation happens, Dr. Eugene gives a toast and he tells King, thanks for walking around without your shirt on for the ladies. And then he gets serious and he's just like, thank you for your positive energy. We appreciate it. And King is like, thank you all for welcoming me into this group. So you could see Dr. G side-eyeing. And he finally is like, man, I ain't mean no harm, man. Y'all know how Dr. G got this high nasally voice. I ain't mean no harm, man. I just ain't appreciate her speaking over my new marriage like that, man. I didn't handle it well, but I ain't mean no disrespect. No, I ain't mean no disrespect. And King is like, I get it. Y'all have a past. We can't change that. And G is like, I mean, all I said was that you got a big ass mouth. Why did you say that? Dr. G, we did, this is where you went wrong. You didn't have to say that at all. You about 5'2". This man is like 6 feet. Stop it. And so King is like, you you said that to my woman? And it's like, King, we see the clips. You was sitting right there. He wasn't talking to Sweet Tea. He was talking to Quad. You was in the ear vicinity. You was in the vicinity. Y'all done made me mad at him. Popped my earring off. You was right there. You heard it. So King is trying to act like you didn't hear it. Oh, you said that to my woman? And Greg has said, I did. I know she had too much to drink. I know how she is. And King is like, well, I ain't hear that. King, you heard it. Dr. G is like, well, I'm glad you didn't. So basically, they're having this first little back and forth situation. And you could see the guys can feel the tension and they're trying to, trying to settle it down, trying to squash it before it bubbles up into some drama. And so King is like, basically like, yo, I'm not about to bond with you over the fact that you like to tell women to shut the hell up or they got a big ass mouth, they mouth too fucking whatever. Okay. So it's crazy. And so again, like I said, Cecil and everybody is just trying to, they try, hey, let's keep it cool, let's keep it copacetic. They just trying to intervene and be cool about it. And so King is like, well, I'm offended and you need to apologize. And Dr. G, which I agree, some responsibility needs to be had for everybody, which is true. Again, I'm on nobody's side, but some responsibility needs to be taken on both sides. Okay, so Dr. G is looking around for validation, and it's like the guys in seeing King, you owe her an apology, and King is all big and strapping, so Dr. G is looking around for validation for somebody to back him up. So then Dr. Eugene swoops in. If I may interject, and I don't know if Dr. Eugene was a little tipsy, trying to figure out what to say, or if he was scared, but he gets to stuttering. Now, if I may interject, he can't even remember what the hell he's trying to say. So Scott intervenes, and Cecil intervene to help him out. And it's just like, look, everybody was emotional last night. Let's chill. And so then Dr. G decides to jump up and gets in King's face. If I knew, if you knew how I was, then you would know that I'm the type of, when I address something, I usually just, I talk to the man. And King is like, well, I will hope you will be willing, and G says, I hope you would be willing to stand up for her. And basically, the guys know how I am and how we roll in this group. We usually talk to each other. And King says most definitely that he would stand up for his women. So Dr. G says, good. And then he goes to sit his ass down. Dr. G, you should not have stood up. You should have not gotten into that man's face. That's where you went wrong. Again, you was dead ass wrong. You were slowly adding the fuel to the fire. Okay? You shouldn't have walked up on that man. So anyway, we switch over to the ladies. We got Phaedra and Sheik Shek. They are having a good ass time. He is picking her up, tossing her on his chest. They doing it. The ladies are watching from their floaties and they're like, oh, look at Phaedra and her man. Oh, Phaedra and her man. And so Shireen gets mad. I wish y'all would stop saying that that's her man. Shek is everybody, man. Shek is everybody in Atlanta, man. So my thing is, Shireen, why do you care? You won the prize. That is Apollo. Why you care? Why do you care? So anyway, this basically pulls Sheik over, Shek, whatever the hell his name is. He comes over to the group. And so again, Toya always knows, he wants to know, how do you know Shireen? Do you know her family? Are you, are you going over there for the holidays? And he's like, why are you so nosy? Why are you asking all these questions? So basically he breaks the ice and basically it's like, what do y'all want to know? Pretty much. So they get messy asking questions. We want to know how you know Apollo. How's Phaedra, a part of this equation? Da 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 da. So while they are questioning him, Phaedra is standing on the side and she is just flabber and gasted because she's like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be my group of friends. Why are they antagonizing my situation? Why, like, why are they getting all up in my business? If I wanted them to know, I would tell them. Again, this group, remember, is supposed to be built on marriage, sisterhood, familial values, and it's everything but that. So anyway, Apollo sees the gathering. He comes over, and so he and Shek start talking about their friendship, and Apollo's like, I guess, remember on the boat he was like, well, we gonna hash it out. What do y'all need to hash out? You have moved on. It's been 7 years since you and Phaedra were married. Why do you care what she has going on? So anyway, Shek is like, I told you that I went on a speed dating and that I matched up with your wife. Well, you didn't say what happened after. And so Shek and Phaedra are like, why do you care? And Phaedra's like, I'm not married to you anymore. Why do you care? And so Shireen, Apollo don't want you. Apollo don't want you. We can't tell Shireen because Apollo has followed up after Phaedra. He is on the island with Phaedra. So what do And so she's like, Apollo, I told you about Phae Phae. And then Phaedra goes, my name is not Phae Phae, you bad built bitch. Lord. So they go have a little back and forth. And so Shek and Phaedra is like, you know what, y'all can have this shit because we're not with it. So then they start walking away. And then Sweet Tea, being Phaedra's friend, is like, looks at Shireen, who invited y'all? And Shireen, Dr. Heavenly. And then she asked Heavenly, what was your purpose of inviting them? And that's a valid question. Heavenly, what was your purpose? Grandma always said a hit dog gon' holler. And did Heavenly get to hollering? Don't question me. Don't ask me. Shit. Don't ask me. Shit. So they start going back and forth and forth and back. Again, Heavenly and Sweet Tea, a white flag was never raised, never waved. It was never waved. So they started going back and forth. You Razorback, Bill, bit, that. They going back and forth, back and forth. So the guys, they see the bullshit happening. So they run over. Dr. G swoops up T. He snakes his arm around her waist, starts dragging her away. Quad, so Simone gets with the pit bull and is trying to calm her down, and she's in her confessional says, Sweet Tea doing too much. She always, Simone, go to hell, because no, you will not say that Letitia Lunsford started this shit or is doing too much. She asked a very valid question, which you, as being an elder in this group, and your friend Dr. Jackie as an elder in this group, y'all should have told y'all friend that she was on some bullshit by starting all this shit between these two couples. So Quad, who should have been running after Heavenly and looking after Heavenly, let's not forget Heavenly's ass slipped and fell. She thought she was gonna nuck and buck on Sweet Tea, but she slipped and her fat ass fell back in that water. Now, notice she never nucked and bucked with Contessa. She's security, called for security, but she thought she was gonna punk Sweet Tea. Anyway, Quad, you should have ran over with Heavenly to calm her down, but you decide to go with Sweet Tea. Letitia, calm down, calm down. Listen to your husband, listen to your husband. Why? And then while all this melee is happening, King decides to walk up on Dr. G. He wants to finish the conversation because he feels, now this is crazy as hell to me. They crazy as hell. He feels this would be a good time, since Dr. G is away from the group, that he could talk to him, and Dr. G is not putting on this show where he feels like he's the shit and he doesn't have his boys around basically to protect or validate him. He could see Dr. G for who he is. So he tells Phaedra to get Sweet Tea to pull her to the side because he wants to talk to Dr. G man to man. So they finish with their pissing contest. Okay, they got their little pissing contest. They're finishing that, and basically it's them the going back and forth, and it pretty much boils down to King telling Dr. G, don't say nothing else to her. If Qua got something to say, let her say it. Let her get it off her chest. And so Dr. G is like, you basically saying that she can say whatever the hell she wants to say to me, and I'm not supposed to say anything to her. I need to come to you. And that's pretty much what it boiled down to. Then they start going back and forth and forth and back. And they're in each other's faces. And so Dr. G is like, man, I'm a doctor. I ain't got time for this to be getting into no fight and all this stuff. So then he says some shit that makes King pop off, which is like, it was unnecessary. King takes his shirt off, and then he starts beating on his chest. And then Dr. G starts getting amped up because the guys see that this shit is about to be on and popping. So as soon as the guys start swarming around the group, Dr. G, y'all notice, starts getting more hype and pumped like he about to do some shit. And then more melee happens. And then the ladies start running over to them. Sweet Tea pulls away from Phaedra. She starts doing her Baywatch run, and Quad running up behind them. And it's just a whole bunch of bullshit. Just bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Phaedra decides that she no longer wants to be a part of this shit show, so she tells the mean girls, this is why Phaedra has called these women those type of bitches. Now, I don't condone us as black women calling each other bitches, but I understand the method to her madness in this moment. So listen, y'all, there was a lot of forth and back and a lot of pissing going on between Dr. G and King. It was just a lot. So I feel like Married to Medicine is trying to put on, because at this point we don't have anywhere else to go with these people. How long are we going to continue to carry on with these storylines with the mean girls and women trying to infiltrate this circle? And I really don't know. I mean, this episode was entertaining at hell, I'll give you that. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. Do y'all think that Heavenly was behind all this drama, or are y'all team Heavenly? I mean, I want to know. Do y'all feel like, I feel like Dr. Jackie is the puppet master and Heavenly is her pit bull, and Heavenly does Dr. Jackie's dirty work because Jackie got to keep her hands clean, because Jackie didn't been to the White House, and Jackie didn't talk to Vice President Harris, and Jackie don't want no parts of the ghetto-ness. But I really feel like Jackie is that gutter snake. So y'all continue to like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know how y'all feel. Let's get into it in the comments. I'm ready to go back and forth. And I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Girl, can we gossip? Gossip. Gossip. Girl, can we gossip? Gossip. Gossip. Girl, can we gossip? Gossip. Gossip girl.